He stood stock, still, by the urn, with the geranium flowing over it. How many men in 1,000 million, he asked himself, reached Z after all? Surely the leader of a forlorn hope may ask himself that and answer, without treachery to the expedition behind him, one perhaps, one in a generation. Is it to be blamed then if it's not that one, provided he has toiled honestly, given to the best of his power, till he has no more left to give? And his fame lasts how long? It is permissible, even for a dying hero, to think before he dies how men will speak of him hereafter. His fame lasts perhaps 2,000 years. And what are 2,000 years? What, indeed, if you look from a mountain top down the long wastes of the ages? The very stone one kicks with one's boot will outlast Shakespeare.
Allora, vieni su in quest'angolo qua. Guardate che il braccio non si va a toccare. Se c'è la...
Dammi un po' avanti.
His own little light would shine, not very brightly, for a year or two, and would then be merged in some bigger light, and that in a bigger still. Who then could blame the leader of that forlorn party, which after all has climbed high enough to see the waste of the years and the perishing of stars, if before death stiffens his limbs beyond the power of movement, he does a little consciously raise his numbed fingers to his brow and square his shoulders so that when the search party comes, they will find him dead at his post, the fine figure of a soldier. Mr. Ramsay squared his shoulders and stood very upright by the urn. Who shall blame him if, so standing for a moment, he dwells upon fame, upon search parties, upon cairns raised by grateful followers over his bones? Finally, who shall blame the leader of the doomed expedition if, having adventured to the uttermost and used his strength wholly to the last once and fallen asleep, not much caring if it wakes or not. He now perceives by some pricking in his toes that sympathy and whiskey and someone to tell the story of his suffering to at once. Who shall blame him? Who will not secretly rejoice when the hero puts his armor off and halts by the window and gazes at his wife and son, who, very distant at first, gradually come closer and closer, till lips and book and head are clearly before him, though still lovely and unfamiliar from the intensity of his isolation and the waste of ages and the perishing of stars, and finally putting his pipe in his pocket and bending his magnificent head before her. Who will blame him if he does homage to the beauty of the world?